On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you as a couple?
8.
Wait, 10 being perfectly happy and 1 being totally miserable, or?
Just respond instinctively.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
8.
From Golden Age studios to modern blockbusters, some actors couldn't keep their hands off each other between takes. Marriages destroyed, careers ruined, children caught in the crossfire. Sometimes the chemistry was too strong to resist, and the wreckage didn't matter. This is 10 actors who slept with each other on set. Number 10, Billy Crudup and Claire Danes. They met on the set of Stage Beauty in 2003. Billy Crudup had been with Mary Louise Parker for 7 years. She was carrying their first child, 7 months pregnant, showing, glowing, planning a nursery. Then 24-year-old Claire Danes walked onto set and Crudup walked out of his life. He left Parker alone with a newborn in January 2004, moving directly into a relationship with Danes that became one of Hollywood's most hated home-wrecking stories. Parker wrote about it years later without naming him. The pain's still raw. "I'm alone. Look, see? I'm pregnant and alone. It hurts to even breathe." Danes eventually addressed it on Howard Stern in 2015, admitting she was just in love with him and didn't understand the consequences at 24. The relationship with Crudup lasted 3 years before imploding. Parker raised their son alone and refused to trash-talk him publicly. Danes married someone else in 2009. Crudup finally married Naomi Watts in 2023, and Parker graciously wished them well. The kid who grew up without his father around got to watch his mother be the bigger person.
But you're right, that a villain doesn't usually see themselves as malevolent.
Number 9, Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. America's sweetheart met Australia's bad boy on Proof of Life in 2000, and the wholesome image died in London tabloids, showing them making out in restaurants. Meg Ryan was married to Dennis Quaid for 9 years with a son. Russell Crowe was single and dangerous. The British press caught them smooching and nuzzling all over London while filming, and Ryan's carefully cultivated rom-com queen persona burned to ash overnight. The career consequences fell entirely on her. Director Taylor Hackford blamed their affair for the film bombing at the box office. Ryan became the Scarlet Woman, while Crowe kept making action movies. Her romantic comedy career ended. Studios wouldn't touch her. It took 23 years to stage a real comeback. Ryan later revealed Dennis had been cheating for years, that their marriage was already dead, but nobody cared about context. The affair with Crowe lasted less than a year. "I was a mess," she admitted. "I hurt him too at the end." She destroyed her image for a relationship that couldn't survive the scandal it created.
Simple things were really, really hard.
Number 8, Ryan Phillippe and Abbie Cornish. Ryan Phillippe met Australian actress Abbie Cornish on the set of Stop Loss in 2006, while married to Reese Witherspoon, Hollywood's golden couple with 2 kids and Oscar glory. They didn't hide it well. US Weekly reported them making out in a sushi restaurant together while he was still wearing his wedding ring. Reese reportedly discovered the affair through text messages on his BlackBerry, reading conversations that confirmed what everyone was already whispering about. They separated in October 2006, just months after Witherspoon won her Oscar for Walk the Line, with Phillippe smiling beside her at the ceremony. Witherspoon called the divorce very humiliating and very isolating, admitting she floundered career-wise for years afterward. Phillippe denied cheating, but later admitted difficulties in my relationship long before I ever met her, which convinced nobody. He dated Cornish for 4 years before that relationship also ended. Witherspoon recovered, remarried, and built an empire. Phillippe's career never quite reached those heights again. The texts were deleted, but the damage was permanent.
It's so important, too, as divorced parents, I think, to keep that connection and to let, it makes the kids feel better. They know that.
Number 7, Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. They met filming a Lifetime movie called Mind Over Murder in July 2005. Tori Spelling was married 1 year to Charlie Sheenan. Dean McDermott was married 12 years to Mary Jo Eustace with a 7-year-old son and in the middle of adopting a baby daughter. Spelling admitted on reality TV they had sex the first night they met. 3 weeks later, during a family vacation, McDermott told his wife he was leaving her for Aaron Spelling's daughter. He abandoned the adoption process, leaving his wife to explain to their son why daddy wasn't coming home. The karma was brutal and televised. Eustace published a book called Divorce Sucks about the humiliation. They married in 2006, had 5 kids, and spent 17 years together. In December 2013, McDermott was caught having an affair with a 28-year-old woman, and Spelling documented their marriage counseling on reality TV, mining her pain for ratings exactly like she'd done to Eustace. They divorced in November 2024, owing over $1.7 million in unpaid taxes. What started with abandoned vows and an abandoned adoption ended in financial ruin and another broken family. The cycle completed itself.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I made a mistake.
Number 6. Kenneth Branagh and Helena Bonham Carter. Kenneth Branagh was directing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in 1994 when he started sleeping with his lead actress, Helena Bonham Carter. His wife was Emma Thompson, one of Britain's most beloved actresses who had been friends with Bonham Carter after they starred in Howard's End together. Thompson was utterly blind to the fact that he had relationships with other women on set, she later admitted, describing herself as feeling half alive when she finally discovered the truth. 8 years later, Thompson channeled that devastation into her famous crying scene in Love Actually, where she discovers her husband's infidelity. It wasn't acting, it was memory. Branagh and Bonham Carter lasted 5 years before splitting in 1999, neither marriage nor affair surviving the wreckage. Thompson found healing with Greg Wise, her Sense and Sensibility co-star, who picked up the pieces and put them back together. She married him in 2003 and later forgave Bonham Carter publicly. All three eventually appeared in the Harry Potter films, proof that British actors can be professionals even when their personal lives imploded. Thompson won. Branagh's affair became her most iconic scene. Before we get to the top 5, which scandal shocked you the most? Ever wondered how these co-stars could face each other afterward? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We have people tuning in from Florida to Berlin. Number 5. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They met on Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2004, playing married assassins trying to kill each other, and the irony wrote itself. Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston, America's sweetheart from Friends, the couple everyone thought would last forever. By January 2005, they announced their separation with careful PR language, denying tabloid speculation. But the timeline told a different story. Jolie later admitted to Vogue that she couldn't wait to get to work during filming, and feelings developed by the end of production. Then came the photos. Pitt on vacation with Jolie and her adopted son Maddox, while the divorce ink was still wet. The domestic bliss photo shoot in W magazine, showing them playing house with kids. Aniston addressed it all in Vanity Fair with devastating restraint. The world was shocked, and I was shocked. There's a sensitivity chip that's missing. Pitt told Rolling Stone he fell in love making that film. They had 6 kids, married in 2014, and Jolie filed for divorce in 2016. As of late 2024, their custody battle continues. 9 years of legal warfare over the family built on someone else's ruins. Aniston moved on and built an empire. The sensitivity chip never grew back.
Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were. I think you're so sexy. Will you come to me?
Number 4. Kristen Stewart and Rupert Sanders. On July 17, 2012, paparazzi photographed 22-year-old Kristen Stewart making out with 41-year-old Rupert Sanders in a parked car. She was the star of Snow White and the Huntsman. He was the director. He was married to model Liberty Ross, who had a small role in the film. Their 2 kids, ages 7 and 5, had been on set watching Daddy direct the movie star. The photos went worldwide in hours, and Stewart did something almost unheard of in Hollywood. She publicly apologized. "I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everyone this has affected. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob." It didn't matter. She wasn't invited back for the sequel. Her relationship with Robert Pattinson ended in 2013. Sanders' marriage survived briefly through counseling before Liberty Ross filed for divorce, taking the house, 15% of his movie profits, and the kids. Stewart later addressed the slut-shaming that went down was so absurd on Howard Stern. The director, 19 years older, got to keep working. The 22-year-old actress lost her franchise. The apology changed nothing.
She's very spirited, she's very rebellious, she's obviously very beautiful.
Number 3. Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini. Ingrid Bergman was one of Hollywood's biggest stars in 1949. Casablanca, Gaslight, an Oscar winner, the face of wholesome beauty. Then she traveled to Italy to film Stromboli with director Roberto Rossellini and got pregnant while still married to Swedish neurosurgeon Peter Lindstrom. The scandal wasn't just tabloid fodder, it became a matter of government intervention. On March 14, 1950, Senator Edwin C. Johnson stood on the Senate floor and denounced her as a powerful influence for evil, calling her one of Hollywood's apostles of degradation. He proposed legislation requiring the Commerce Department to license actors and revoke them for moral turpitude. She was exiled from Hollywood for 7 years. Her films were boycotted across America. The Ed Sullivan Show banned her. Churches passed resolutions against her. She had to rebuild her career in Europe, while Hollywood pretended she'd never existed. She returned in 1956 with Anastasia and won the Oscar, the ultimate vindication. In 1972, Senator Charles Percy entered an apology into the congressional record, 22 years too late. Her daughter from the affair, Isabella Rossellini, became a famous actress. The Senate got to apologize. Bergman got her career back. Nobody got those 7 years back. Number 2, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. They met filming Woman of the Year in late 1941. Tracy told Hepburn, or maybe it was the director, accounts vary, "Don't worry, I'll cut you down to size." The affair lasted 26 years until Tracy died in 1967, and he never divorced his wife Louise. Not once. His Catholicism made divorce a sin. His guilt over their deaf son convinced him the deafness was punishment for his moral failings. Louise reportedly said, "I will be Mrs. Spencer Tracy until the day I die," and she meant it. It was Hollywood's worst-kept secret. Gene Kelly recalled watching them hold hands on studio benches while everybody pretended not to notice. The studio system protected them because that's what studios did. Tracy died at Hepburn's home where she'd been caring for him. She didn't attend his funeral out of respect for Louise and didn't publicly acknowledge the relationship until Louise died in 1983. 26 years of love lived in shadows and guilt, neither able to leave, neither able to make it legitimate. Hepburn wrote in 1991, "We just passed 27 years together in what was to be absolute bliss." It is called love. Love that required a wife to pretend she didn't exist and a mistress to stay invisible for 26 years. Nobody won that one. Number 1, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. January 22, 1962, on the set of Cleopatra in Rome. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton began the affair that would make the Vatican intervene in a Hollywood scandal. Producer Walter Wanger saw electricity from day one. Director Joseph Mankiewicz said he'd been sitting on a volcano. Taylor was married to Eddie Fisher, her 4th husband, who she'd stolen from best friend Debbie Reynolds in 1958. Burton was married to Sybil Williams since 1949. The affair exploded into international headlines, and the consequences were unprecedented. The Vatican's newspaper condemned Taylor for erotic vagrancy, suggesting her children be taken away. Congresswoman Iris Faircloth Blitch called for barring both from re-entering the United States. They married in 1964, divorced in 1974, remarried in 1975, divorced again in 1976. He bought her the 69-carat Taylor Burton diamond and the 33-carat Krupp diamond. When he died in 1984, she was asked to stay away from his funeral but sent a single red rose anyway. She was buried in 2011 with his final love letter in her hands, sent 3 days before his death. The Vatican condemned it. 2 countries wanted them banned. They married each other twice and couldn't make it work either time. 30 years after his death, she was still holding his last letter. That's not romance. That's wreckage that never stopped burning.
Instant I saw you, entering Rome on that monstrous stone beast, shining in the sun like a little gold toy.